How do I get her out? Give me a moment, give me a moment.
Hi, Barbie.
All right, friends, you have been asking, and I am here to talk about it. The arrival of blind Fashionista Barbie. I am so excited to have finally gotten my hands on this. Couple things, some elephants in the room, okay? First off, I want to say that I was not involved with this project in any capacity. The only involvement I had is I received an email from somebody at Mattel a couple of days before the public announcement of her arrival saying, can we send you something? We have something coming we think you'll like. I said yes. I figured it was probably a blind Barbie. That's why it took me so long to make content, because I was waiting on it, but it never arrived. So my boyfriend and I just went on Target and we ordered it. It's about $10, super affordable. I honestly just hadn't realized how readily available and easy it was to get my hands on, or I would have just gone and ordered it sooner. So I have it, it's here, but that is, full transparency, the only involvement I've had. So I am coming at this from a completely outsider perspective. I did not consult on this project, didn't work on this in any capacity. And I say that because I have been receiving quite a few comments from you guys, and I know they're out of love and support, ranging from things like, oh my God, girl, you did that. Like, this is you, this is so exciting, well done, congrats, to Mattel needs to admit they made you into a Barbie. And I know that all of those comments are coming from like support and love and a really positive place. And I wanna say thank you. I appreciate you guys saying things like that and messaging me about it. I am not taking credit for this in any way. If the work that I have done as both a blind content creator for a decade and a very outspoken fashion lover and somebody who often speaks about representation in all of its forms has played any role in this, I'm grateful. And I don't need to be like publicly recognized or told that I was the one who did that. There's lots of us. I am one of many people who speaks about this issue, and like I said, if in any way my love of fashion, being blind, being outspoken about makeup and about representation in beauty and fashion and media has played a role in inspiring Mattel to create this Barbie, then like I'm happy. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to create change, and I don't necessarily need to like get a pat on the back for that or public recognition for that. Because I do corporate consulting on this kind of thing, but I didn't get to consult on Barbie, I just want to share like some things, some ideas I have, because it makes me so excited, because it would have been a dream project to work on, because I dream of getting to work on a project like this with a company like Mattel in the future. These are some of my thoughts. Overall, it is such a huge thing that blind Barbie exists. I wouldn't even be making this video 3 years ago, 5 years ago. I mean, quite literally like 2 weeks ago. Like, she didn't exist. So this is huge. The fact that this exists is such a big milestone for our community. This is the first major doll company who has made a blind doll, to my knowledge, and for every little blind kid everywhere, that's massive. And for every blind person who was a kid, which spoiler was all of us, this is huge. So I am just so excited that this exists. And that is the most important thing, its existence. And that the doll inside represents our community well. And I feel like just the sheer fact that she is not just a blind Barbie, but that they made her in the Fashionista line and that she's wearing makeup and all of those elements make her more than just blind, which we as a community are. We are more than our blindness. And we try to scream that from the rooftops. And for so long, in so many ways, the media has portrayed us for our blindness. That has been the most defining feature of us when we are portrayed. And the fact that it's not just titled Blind Barbie, it's Blind Fashionista Barbie. And that she has all of these other aspects to her just means so much to me and is so important as a blind person, as a Barbie fan, as a makeup and fashion lover. It's just so cool to see all of these aspects that I genuinely relate to represented in doll form. And it would have, honestly, like genuinely, it would have been a dream come true to get to work on a project like this. And maybe one day I will. You know, Mattel, call me, I'm here. This is what I do. It would be so cool to get to work with Mattel on the next iteration, because my dream, my hope, and maybe I'm asking for too much, is that this is the first of many blind Barbies to come. Like that we see black blind Barbie, that we see Asian blind Barbie, that we see blind Barbie with guide dog, that we see travel blind Barbie. Like I want to see this become one of many. I think that would be amazing. And if you're looking for blind guide dog Barbie, I'm here. I'm your girl, and by me, I mean really my guide dog Elton. He is here. He's here for you. He's excited for this project. I don't know, I think they did such an amazing job with what they created, and I feel like it just inspires me and it makes me excited, and I feel like there's so many things that I see and I'm like, ooh, but what else could we do? Like, and also, we could do this. Like, I feel like the guide dog needs to have a harness that like could actually come on and off. I feel like that would be so fun. Or like the cane, it would be so cool, because I don't think, I'll see once I open it, but I'm pretty sure the cane doesn't fold, but like how stinking cool would it be if it did? Like just like additional accessory packs for her would be so fun. Seeing, you know, like on the box, it says Barbie in Braille. And I don't know if you guys know this, it's not something I talk about a lot on this part of my social media, but I actually do a lot of accessibility consulting in the corporate world. And the two ways in which I do that are social media. I consult corporations on how to make their social media content more accessible and universal. And then I also consult on how to make physical product packaging more inclusive and more accessible and more universal. And one hard thing about being a consultant is that sometimes they take your advice and sometimes they don't. As I said, I did not consult on this project. And I have so much respect for those who I know did. AFB, love their work. They did an amazing job. And some of the other folks that I know were involved in this project on a consulting basis, I think they nailed it, they killed it, they crushed it, and so much of what I'm sure they shared based on the end result, I would have shared. Like, is the feedback I would have given, and it's amazing. Like, I'm so pleased with how it turned out. I just look at this and I'm like, I get excited about all the ways in which I see this, and I'm like, ooh, but what else could we do for the next version? Like the next iteration of this doll, how could we, it's already so amazing, how could we like bump it to the next level? You know, there's Braille on the box. It says Barbie in Braille, which is so cool because I think about being a little kid who was learning Braille and frankly hating every moment of it. Like I'm the biggest advocate for Braille now, but I hated it at the time. But I think of being a little girl and only ever seeing Braille in the context of school and hating it because it made me feel different. Like all the other kids were learning to read and write print. And when all of them were in French class, because I grew up in Canada where that's a second language credit, that's mandatory for a certain time period, I was pulled to learn Braille. And to think about that version of me who could go to the store and like be touching the boxes on the shelves and feel Braille and like it be a cool thing. Like seeing Braille in a cool context that was exciting instead of just seeing Braille in this context that made me feel different and othered and less than and made me frustrated would have been so huge. So it's like the fact that there's Braille in the box means so much to me, and I know would mean so much to so many other young kids. But I feel like when I was Barbie age, like when I'm still Barbie age, let's be real, but like if I was that little girl shopping, it would have meant even more to me to see it in uncontracted Braille. Currently, Barbie is written in contracted Braille or grade 2 Braille. And so it's AR contraction BIE, and I only say that I would have loved to see it in uncontracted or grade 1 Braille because I didn't even learn contracted Braille until I was 11 or 12, and so I actually wouldn't have been able to read this. So it just would be like, I'm like daydreaming about my young self. Obviously, like this is just my own perspective. I am one person. I'm sharing my perspective, but I feel like seeing it in grade 1 and seeing like full blind Fashionista Barbie, like being able to feel the word blind for me as a young blind child would have meant so much. Like not just feeling Barbie in Braille, but feeling blind, feeling fashionista. So in the future, I would love the next version of Blind Barbie if it did say like blind Fashionista Barbie in Braille or blind whatever Barbie in Braille, and for it to be in grade 1, just because like less than 10% of blind people read Braille, and even less than that 10% read grade 2 Braille. And as a child, you're even less likely, which is obviously the Barbie demo, to be reading grade 2 Braille. So I just think like that would be super cool. And I also feel like it would be really awesome if there was some kind of cutout on the front, which I don't know if I'm daydreaming, but I feel like when I was a little kid shopping for Barbies, I remember sticking my hand in the box and feeling aspects of the Barbie. And I don't know if somewhere along the line that changed, or like I said, I'm daydreaming, but I feel like it would be really cool to see that come back and have some kind of cutout on the Barbie box, because there is like a little cutout on the side, but I think that that's just for Barbie to breathe. Like Barbie needs airflow in here, so I feel like this cutout is just for her to be able to like breathe, you know what I'm saying? But if there was a cutout somewhere like around her face, so that like a young blind child could reach in and feel her, because we don't have the opportunity or the experience of seeing toys before we buy them. And I remember as a child, everybody would laugh at me because obviously it was laughing out of love. They didn't understand. But I would, at Christmas or my birthday, I would take my gift and I would go to another room to open it. And then I would like bring it back and I would hold it behind my back and I'd be like, guess what I got? And then I'd like reveal it. And I did that because when I would open things, I didn't know what it was. It was just a box. Like I would touch it and it would just be a box. And so everybody else in the room would react before I knew what I was opening. Like they would be like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I wouldn't even know what it was. So like I would be like, but what is so cool? And so it's like my own thing that was meant to be my moment was now other people's moments. It was like taken from me. So I would leave the room and I would be like 4 years old and I would open my gift on my own because I could see enough that like if I looked at it long enough, I could figure out what it was. So I would like look at it in private on my own, see what it was, and then I could get to go in and be the one that was excited to show people instead of other people being the ones excited to show me my own gift. So I feel like it would just be so cool to have cut out in the plastic that like gave little blind kids the autonomy to feel what they were buying or to get this as a gift and feel what they were opening and like know what was inside. Because I would have loved that as a kid. I also feel like in the same vein of like not being able to see her and not knowing what she looks like I now owning this, having not opened it yet, which we will get to, don't worry, but having not opened this yet, like I know what it looks like because my boyfriend described it to me and my mom described it to me and I watched other blind people reacting to it and I read articles about it and like I have been so excited and like that's how I know what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like because I could figure it out on my own, and I think it would be really cool if there was something like a tactile QR code somewhere on this box where a blind person could feel it and know like they could scan it. And I know you're like, Molly, it's for kids, but blind kids, we often end up with technology younger than the average kid because for us as blind people, technology isn't just technology, it is autonomy, it is independence, it is a way to learn our skills and access things we do not have access to. So I had technology younger than most of my peers, and that was in the 2000s and 90s. And so yes, even though it is geared towards kids, a lot of blind kids have phones or some kind of smart device much younger than the average kid would. And also, there are adults like me who are Barbie lovers and blind and would love this experience. So I think it would just be really fun if there was a tactile QR code so you could feel it, know where to scan it with your device, and then it would have an audio described blurb. And it could be just the normal average text that is screen reader compatible. But what I think would be even more fun is if it was Barbie reading it to you. So it was hi, I'm blind fashionista Barbie, and I'm wearing a pink top. And she gave AD to these kids, and she told them what she looked like. I feel like those would just be, when I look at this as somebody who does accessibility consulting on specifically on packaging and product design, those are things that just excite me to think about, to dream about, to be giving that feedback to a brand and to see them put that into practice would just be amazing. So I just wanted to share some of those thoughts on the physical product packaging because again, it's not something I talk about a lot on here, but it is something that I do behind the scenes. And maybe that is feedback that they were given and for some reason or another, it just wasn't possible this time around. I don't know because I wasn't in those rooms and I wasn't in those discussions, but I just wanted to share those thoughts before I delve into opening her and seeing what's inside with my hands, because, blind. I am so excited to open her up and feel what she looks like. The moment we've all been waiting for. I have not unboxed a Barbie since I was a little girl. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I'm doing something wrong by unboxing it though. I feel like she's meant to stay in her little home. This to me is collector's worthy, How do I get her out? Give me a moment. Wait, she's attached. Okay, I need to free her. Okay, I just had my boyfriend cut it and I have not touched it and I'm going to remove her from her little home. Oh my God. Okay, the cane queen. A cane queen. I happen to know, oh my God, dog's getting excited. Look, okay, so she has her cane. It is a tall cane. People always say that my cane is too short. I was always taught growing up mid-sternum to like under the chin. That was the range. And I'm not a full-time cane user, so that's just what I have. But a lot of people do chin to nose. So she is like, she's around that nose height. Barbie's a fast walker. And then she's also in high heels, because yes, us blind girls wear heels, obviously. The cute little mini skirt, oh my God. And I know that she's wearing pink and purple. Hello, my aesthetic. Yes, I'm all into the pink and purple. I've been told that she has makeup on. Yes, because us blind girls wear makeup, queen. She has her hair, oh, interesting. What is her?
There's a little rubber band.
Oh, okay, her cane and her hair are free. She's got like long wavy hair, and I heard she's a brunette. We love. Okay, and then the sunglasses are on the head, not on her face, which I think is a great touch because whilst many of us blind folks do wear sunglasses due to photophobia or other reasons, a lot of us don't wear them all the time, but the media has portrayed us for so damn long as wearing them all the time. Like every imagery you see of blind people, they have the dark sunglasses on, and also they're usually not fashionable. So I love that these are like a white or silver color, I think I've been told, and not like the black, big, dark sunglasses. They're like fashionable, they're cute, as Fashionista Barbie deserves, and they're on her head so that when it's too bright and she needs them, she can put them on, but they're not always on. So really love that touch, that she has nice hair done, her makeup's on. Like, I mean, hello, she is me, I am her, we are one. Like this would have been everything to me as a little kid. I am definitely gonna buy this for my boyfriend's niece. Like she needs to have this ASAP. I am buying this for any kid in my life. Oh, she's wearing wedges. Okay, good touch, because as a blind gal, wedges are the easiest to walk in. So we approve. I mean, they're kind of wedges. They're like basically wedges. This is so good. And the cane, I'm really excited because it actually has like the elastic band, which you would use when you fold up your cane to tie it around. It doesn't actually fold, but that's okay. She has the marshmallow tip, which queen, I relate, that's what I use. And she has the classic red and white cane. So that leads me to believe that she's maybe legally blind, but not fully blind. Because here in the United States, I'm not from here originally. I live here, but I'm not from here originally. So my understanding is that in the United States, red and white represents low vision, and then all white represents fully blind. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whereas where I'm from, everybody uses the red and white. Like that's just the standard. Also, they made it so that her arms can bend at the elbow so that she can actually swing her cane back and forth. Look, oh my God, look at her cane arm.
Oh, you're making her a lefty, that's cute, I just realized.
I am making her a lefty because I'm a lefty. So she needs to be a lefty too. Okay, let's slip her cane on her hand. Stop. I mean, this would have...
Maybe try to spin it. I'm not sure.
No, I think that's how it's meant to be. Oh, wait. The cane is on. Oh my God, stop. Look at her. Look how long that cane is, man. Okay. Oh my God, stop. This is everything. I'm so excited. It's finally here. It took... What'd you do? Was that Alti?
No, you flung the...
Oh, it was the cane. It took Mattel long enough, but I'm so glad it's here. Another thing that I heard they did with this Barbie is they made her gaze, like her eyes, a little bit different. What do you think? Can you tell? My mom said she couldn't tell. Like my mom said she felt like the gaze looked normal, but when I read an article, AFB said they made the gaze look a little bit different than normal Barbie.
Potentially, yeah. Like it's very subtle. Like it maybe the position of the pupils are slightly...
Like up?
Or like maybe she kind of looks like when sighted people do this thing where you kind of don't focus on anything and you're kind of just gazing off. That's kind of like what I would say.
Like kind of a blank stare type of?
Not blank, but just like you could tell the pupils aren't focusing on anything. I think I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe that's just subconscious.
Yeah, because I've told you.
Yeah.
But like, would you have noticed if
No.
yeah, that's what my mom said. She said if they did do that, it's very subtle, like she couldn't really tell. Also, just like, this isn't related to specifically blind Barbie, but just generally, I haven't touched a Barbie since I was a little girl, and I feel like they've made her proportions better. Like, I feel like her thighs are thicker. I feel like they've worked on just the overall build of Barbie a little bit, which is nice to see because definitely I think for a long time, the Barbie body standards were a little unrealistic. And now, since I've already transitioned into blind Barbie once for Halloween, I am truly going to transition into blind Barbie. And I would like to mention that I only had to buy one thing in order to do that. Because, hello, I'm already blind Barbie. Who am I? I mean, I already told you I was transitioning into blind Barbie. Officially, I'm obsessed. Like, I feel that I nailed it as good as you can when you're not actually buying a replica costume. I already owned this top. I already owned these white sunnies. Okay, wait, for those who can't see, I'm gonna fully describe the outfit. Okay, so I have like these white sunnies propped on my head, red and white cane in hand with the marshmallow tip, just like hers. And it does look very short for me now because I'm in very high heels. So I have this pink top, it's like square neck cap sleeve, which is very similar to hers, pastel pink. Hers just has like a little ruche in the center. And then I have this little lavender, lilac, purple skirt on. And mine is a tennis skirt and it has like two layers of fabric. Hers is tulle with like a couple more layers. I wish I could have nailed it. This is the only item I actually bought for this, and it's the only one I could find that was gonna come in quick enough for me to make this video. These heels, I feel like actually match hers even more than I thought they would. These I've had for a couple years and I've always worn them anytime I've done like a Barbie aesthetic, all pink on pink, Barbie core kind of look. I used them when I did my Barbie costume for Halloween, and they are like these, I mean, they're literal Barbie shoes. They're plastic, bright pink shoes. And I think they're more similar to hers than I even expected they would be, like after feeling hers. And they're bright pink. I am obsessed with this look. Like, regardless of dressing like blind Barbie or not, I actually just feel like super stinking cute. So, obsessed. I also even asked my boyfriend about the lip color. So he tried to describe it and I ended up picking the Hyaluronic Happy Kiss from Charlotte Tilbury in Pillow Talk, which is like that brownie pink nudish shade. So I tried to do the aesthetic as well as I could. My hair is a lot shorter than hers, but it is like flipped out at the ends to be kind of fun. Instead of having the long curled brown hair, I have the short bob version. And that is my take on blind Barbie. Overall, I feel like I did a great job replicating blind Fashionista Barbie, and I feel like they did a great job with Fashionista Barbie. You know, the feedback that I gave on the packaging truly is the least important part of the product. The product inside is what matters the most, and honestly, like 10 out of 10. No notes. I love it. I think they did such a great job. I'm so happy with it, and its existence, regardless of how it came to be, is what is the most important thing. The fact that that exists is such a huge win for blind people everywhere, but especially young blind girls. Having that representation as a child, being able to play with something that is like you is so important, and I'm just beyond elated that it exists. And I hope that this is just the start of many blind Barbies to come. We want blind makeup Barbie. We want blind Barbie with guide dog. Hold the phone, give me a second. Come on in, here he is. This is blind Barbie's guide doggy. This is the real blind Barbie's guide doggy, right? So we need an accessory kit extension for blind Barbie. And we need the guide dog and harness. And I want the harness to be like removable. And we have to have the leash where it hooks under her finger properly. Call me, seriously, Mattel. The feedback helps. He's so excited about this. He's like, I am blind Barbie guide doggy.
He's been wanting to be in this video the whole day.
Yeah, he really has. He always feeds off of like my excited energy, and he can just tell how excited I am about this video. Truly, I think it would be so fun. And the reality is, like, the feedback on the packaging that I did give, it doesn't make or break it. Like, they still did a fantastic job. And, you know, maybe one day I will get to work with Mattel on blind Barbie guide dog extension kit, right? On the guide doggy extension kit. The expansion pack. Guide doggy Barbies. So there you have it. You asked, I delivered. That is everything that I have to say on Blind Fashionista Barbie. And I would love to hear your comments down below. I will definitely be scrolling, wanting to know what you have to say, your opinions. If you have any feedback, any thoughts, things that you wish they had done differently, let me know. And until next time, you can click over here to see this video, or you can click over here to see my original blind Barbie transformation before she actually existed.